You skipped the very interesting Ku Klux Klan story. Maybe you can have you can give it in a compressed family-friendly version. How
Which
you
one?
make it? How you made it to the Klan guys, to the Ku Klux Klan guys?
Oh, I contacted the Ku Klux Klan in, I think, North Carolina or Georgia. And this is before the internet was really, I didn't start using the internet for anything until just a few years ago, especially for this project, or these kind of projects. Um, so I wrote them a letter. Actually, I wrote letters to like 3 or 4 Klan organizations, like Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, and got no response. But then I got a letter back from Germany. I didn't send a letter to Germany, but I got a letter back from Germany saying, contact these guys in Mississippi. And so I did, contacted them, told them what I wanted to do. They said, well, meet me at this little restaurant, gas station thing on this day, and we'll let you take our picture. So I did. And me and my assistant follow on this windy road for like an hour, in the middle of nowhere. They could have like chopped our heads off if they wanted to. And there's this little clubhouse that they had in the middle of nowhere. And they they got dressed, they put their hoods on, the whole thing. One of them was a politician in the town. They were all respectable like people in their society, but they were in the Ku Klux Klan. It was really interesting. But they were explaining like their views on races and all that stuff. And it was like, it's not like we don't like black people or other races. We don't like, I forget what they said, something like, whatever. They were just finding words to like play around like the racism that they believe in. But they were charming. They believe what they believe, and what are you going to do? I don't want to use the words they were using, so that's why I'm dancing around it.
You said that you explained to everyone what you were doing. I was curious what that pitch exactly was to each person and how many people you photographed overall.
Oh, photographed a lot. I mean, I rented, next to my studio, I had to rent a building across the alley. Just half of that building is housing film from all these shoots. So there's many people that are not in this book that I photographed. But my pitch was basically, I'm a photographer from Los Angeles. I'm doing this project. It might turn into a book because I didn't know for sure if it would or wouldn't. I just think you're interesting. I'd like to photograph you. And I'd sometimes show samples. I wouldn't show them the Ku Klux Klan, for example. I'd show them the ballerina, I'd show them the cowboy, the astronaut, and some of the safer ones. And then I could scare them off showing them pedophiles and Klansmen and all that stuff. So there's a little bit of deception there.
Why black and white? And secondly, is it still easy to get 8x10 sheet film?
Not now. Now it's kind of hard. I order it well in advance, so you have to kind of stock up on your film. I just think when you're looking at people, the color becomes a strong element. Like this Yankees jacket on the right, it's bright blue. If you look at this picture in a second, in color, all you remember is a bright blue jacket. I didn't want it to be about the blue jacket. I wanted it to be about the face and the person. And black and white strips away all those other elements and makes it about the person.
Initially, I wanted to ask you if you kind of set out to avoid stereotypes of these people, but then after looking at everything, everyone is just so inherently themselves. So I'm just wondering if that was a struggle for you kind of going through it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I photographed some coal miners in Kentucky, and there was a whole group of women coal miners that I had photographed. Women can be coal miners, women can be anything. But I looked at the pictures, and it just didn't tell the story. And what I'm looking for is perhaps part of this project was looking for the America that I remember as a kid, which was like the 60s and 70s, which was a male coal miner, and it was a male cowboy, and it was all the cliches, all the stereotypes. So it's almost like these archetypes that will be gone one day. Like the Klan won't exist probably in 15, 20 years, I just think. So I wanted to capture these things before they were gone. I also wanted to capture the ones that I remember as a kid, because now it's 2011, and you know, things have changed a lot. And I just wanted to capture that before things, you know, with the internet and with cable TV and all that stuff, things are changing. There's still parts of the country that haven't been affected by that stuff.
How did you know when to stop? And do you still see people on the street that you?
That's a good question too. I wanted to get the book published. That was a big deal. So I finally got this thing published, and I felt like, okay, I can stop. And I've been depressed ever since. And now I kind of started another project that's different but similar content. And I thought, in my mind, as an artist, you know, I did this, which is a lot of work, tremendous amount of work. It probably took 5 years off my life doing it. And I thought, once I've done that, I won't have to, like, I can rest, I can kick back a little bit. And what it did, just as the opposite, it raised the bar. So now you have to try even harder to do something that stimulates you. It's like being a drug addict or something. So now I have to do something that's even more impressive.